there, Internet! I recently passed 1,000 views on my YouTube channel here. That's peas and carrots compared to the people who have been doing this for a long time and have a really big audience, but for me, 1,000, it's a big number. So I thought it was probably about time for me to do an introduction video. Now that I've already been doing this for a little while, you know a little bit about me already, so I decided to do something a little different, and I went online and I have found a list of great first date questions. So I'm gonna just sit and answer some of these and hopefully you'll learn a little bit more about me. What kinds of things really make you laugh? I really appreciate smart humor. I find that the older I get, the more British television I watch. One, because it's amazingly well done, but two, also, it's just so smart. It's not always such an obvious joke, and I think that's great. What's your favorite place in the entire world? This is kind of one of those impossible questions. I did a tour right after I graduated from high school of England, Scotland, and Wales, and it was beautiful, and I cannot wait to get back. When I was in college, I lived in Verona, Italy for a month and a half, and it was amazing. It was beautiful, and it was one of those places where I couldn't believe I actually was getting to live there for a while. I love traveling. I still want to go so many places. So maybe I haven't found my favorite place in the world yet. Favorite movie of all time? I don't have one. It's an impossible question. I'm also a librarian. That's like asking me what my favorite book is. I cannot pick. That is just not, that's not happening. So next. What's your biggest goal in life right now? Well, last year I wrote a young adult novel, and I am currently doing the less than fun part that comes after writing and rewriting and rewriting and rewriting your novels, which is trying to find an agent to represent you. It's called querying, and I am in the middle of that sort of messy world right now, so I would love to see that book published someday. I would love to be a published author. But in the meantime, I have other stories that I'm working on, and it's just, even if it ends up being nothing more than a hobby, it's just something I like to do. Do you have any pet peeves? Oh man, not to sound like a nagging Nancy or Debbie Downer or Johnny Raincloud or whatever, I do have pet peeves, and I kind of hate that about myself because you shouldn't let little things get to you, I really believe, but there are some things where it's just like, oh, come on, like using your turn signal when you're going to change lanes, or, turn. It's not even hard, you just, you flick it and it turns itself off most of the time. Like, why is that such a hard thing to do? I also cannot stand it when people say I could care less when they mean I couldn't care less, because if you could care less about something that you don't like, why don't you then care less? It's a word thing, and it should not bother me, but every time I hear it, it's like, oh, cringe, why? Do you have a nickname, and what is the story behind it? Oh, this is a good one. I have exactly one nickname, and it is Fuma, because my last name is Fumarolo. My brother, who's a year older than me, went off to college, and there were a bunch of guys on his floor who had the same first name as him, and so to avoid confusion, he suggested that they call him by a nickname he had in high school, Fumo. And they said that was fine. Then time goes on, and it comes out, my brother mentions that he has a little sister, me. And another guy who lived on the floor decided right then and there, we're gonna call her Fuma, because she's like Fumo, but a girl. So my brother texts me, hey, these guys I barely know and live with on my dorm floor, now I have a nickname for you, you're Fuma. And I was like, okay, cool. I had never met any of these guys before. And when I finally did meet them, it was great. They were just like, oh, you're Fuma. And fast forward a year later, I'm trying to decide where to go to college, and I actually ended up deciding to go to the same university, the University of Illinois. And not only that, but I lived in the women's building of this dorm that my brother lived in the men's building. So I was Fuma to all of the people that I lived in the dorms with, and it was kind of great when I started teaching. My students all decided that Fumarolo is just too long of a name, apparently, so now they call me Miss Fuma. So that is the only nickname I've ever really had. The final question on this thing is, what do you hate most about the dating process? And I like you, YouTube, but we're just getting to know each other, so I think on that note, I'm gonna stop talking. I hope you've enjoyed this little introductory video here. I know it's not conventional by any sort of means, but I figured, why not try something different. Your comments are always welcome. I would love to get to know you all better, and none of you seem to like commenting at all, ever, and we should change that. Comments welcome, the usual links are down here in the thing, and you know the drill by now. So that's me, I'm Monica, it's nice to meet you all, and I hope you guys keep watching. So that's it from me for now, Internet. Take care. Bye-bye.